and in today's video, we're going to talk about verbs and their objects. And by objects, I mean direct and indirect. So let's get started. Okay. So there are lots of types of verbs, but the most common type is an action verb. And an action verb describes an action. So a lot of examples include thinking, how about kicking, and so forth. And you can say them in any tense you want. So thinking, kicking, thought, whatever you want. Now when you're saying a sentence, you would say, Mary bought. So bought is an action verb here. But bought what? So let's say you say she bought a gift. Gift is the direct object because it receives the noun. So a direct object, it receives the action. Mary bought a gift, or Tim kicked. Kicked is an action verb here. A ball. What did Tim kick? A ball. That's our direct object. So the most important thing to remember here is that a direct object receives the action. Now an indirect object, spelled like this, it answers the questions. To whom or for whom. So an indirect object answers the questions to whom or for whom. So let's try the same example. Mary bought a gift. But who did she buy it for? Mary bought her sister a gift. So in this case, Mary bought. This is the action verb, so we're going to label it as A, B. And now in this case, what did she buy? She still bought a gift, so that still remains our direct object. But she bought a gift for whom? Her sister. That's our indirect object. Okay. So Mary bought her sister a gift. How about, let's say, Tim picked Sandra the ball. What did Tim do? He kicked. This is our action verb. What did he kick? The ball. This is our direct object. Now, who did he kick the ball to? Sandra. This is our indirect object. Now, part of this lesson would be to talk about past, present, and future tense verbs. Okay, so a past tense verb, it names an action that already happened. So, an action that already happened. Most actions that are in past tense have an ed at the end. So instead of kick or kicking, you'd say kicked. But some, like think, would be thought or broke. So this is our past tense verb. And past tense verbs can also have direct and indirect objects. Next is our present tense verb. It names an action that's happening now. happens regularly. Okay, names an action that is happening now or it happens regularly. So or you can do this by adding ing or s. So the whale lives, so it currently lives. Or Tim is kicking the ball, and there's no dash, but I just added that to show the connection. So you can use that to say so. And next is future. Is going to happen. So it names an action that is going to happen. Most future tenses, they have two verbs, a helping verb, which in most cases is will or shall, and then the main verb. So you can say will travel or shall go. Now, a lot of people confuse direct objects with prepositional phrases. A prepositional phrase is a phrase that has a preposition and an object that receives the preposition. Common prepositions include to, in, before, or after. Okay. So usually a prepositional phrase would be like, bring some food to lunch, or we are learning about Egypt in history, or it can be anything of the sort. So now what to remember is that direct objects usually begin with, so Mary bought a gift. Usually direct objects follow the words a or the, or any sort of those words. I forget the name right now, but a, the, and. So they follow these kind of words. They do not follow Mary bought two gifts. Okay, so that does not follow that same rule. So now let's just try one more example with indirect, direct, and action verb. Egypt gives tourists lessons in history. Okay, so we're going to identify action verb, indirect object, direct object, and prepositional phrase. Okay. So in this case, our noun, I'm just going to mark that too, is Egypt. It's the main subject. Now, Egypt does what? It gives. So in this case, gives is our action verb. Now, what does Egypt give? It gives lessons. Lessons is our direct object. But who does Egypt give the lessons to? Tourists. That's going to be our indirect object. Now, it gives tourist lessons. What? It gives tourist lessons in, that's our preposition. In what? History. This is our object of the preposition. And there's also one last thing, okay? So now, a lot of people get confused in how to identify indirect objects. There's just one simple thing. Indirect objects only appear in sentences with direct objects. You just cannot have a sentence that says like Egypt gives tourists what? It just cannot happen. And second of all, there's also another simple trick. So let's say our sentence is, Mary bought her friends postcards. If you want to know if there's an indirect object, what you simply can do is you can switch the indirect and direct object, so postcards, her friends, and see, Mary bought postcards. You can see if the words to or for fit here. So Mary bought postcards for her friends. Now, if the sentence has a direct object, the direct object will be followed by the words for or to. And if these words fit in the sentence and it makes sense, you can be sure that this is an indirect object. Now, our last example will be verbal. Egypt gives tourists lessons in history. Egypt gives lessons to tourists in history. The word to fits there, the word to. So you can conclude that tourists is the indirect object. Thank you for watching.